Hello, I'm Tristan Babers. I'm co-team lead for Team 36 Code Avengers, and I'm going to be showing you how our pipeline works. So you can see I'm on the team's website. First thing we do is we go to branches, and click here, and then we go to this example branch that a developer has been working on, and we'll click new pull request. Okay, now that we've got the pull request opened up, we would go through and write a review. As you can see, a review is required. So then we would go through and we would take care of any merge conflicts. As you can see, we have a conflict with this branch, and we most of the time, since like the developers added something, we'll delete whatever was done on main, keep the fix, and go through and do the same thing. Okay, and then once we have resolved all of the merge conflicts, we can go ahead and commit merge. Should work. And yeah, so we'll just merge without bypassing. We had a lot of issues with this. GitHub for some reason doesn't allow you to make yourself the reviewer. So we just kind of went ahead and most of the time we just did this. And then I usually leave a note, proved 12.9.22 video, just for posterity. We can come back and see why it was merged. Okay, so now it's been merged into main. And now I'll go over the process of the GitHub workflow action that'll lint and validate the code, and the process of merging it into the official live deployment branch. So as you can see, here's our GitHub workflow. It's in main.build.yml, and this gets triggered anytime there's a push or pull like into main. So then I go to the GitHub actions and we see that it's running right now. So this usually takes like 2 minutes, so we'll wait. Okay, so as you can see, we just finished running the linting and validation, and we can go through and view, see like the progress of those jobs. So we use SuperLinter, which is just a GitHub action you can install in the workflow file, and we've labeled it here with stars. And we can see there's like a lot of indentation warnings. In the future, I probably plan to like turn most of these off because they get kind of tedious. As you can see, like 2 spaces everywhere. So onto the validator. The validator is like much more easy to work with. It'll actually tell you if the HTML files have like issues. We've used to have like a whole lot of more errors for this. Like I think we had like maybe like 60 when we started the project. So then that's like all the automated GitHub processes that we run on our code. And now I'll merge it over to our live deployment branch and show the process for that. Okay, so now what we have is 2 VS Code windows open, and on the left you can see that this is the main branch, and on the right I have a separate folder on my like local computer that's also hosting a copy of like the live deployment branch. We update the JS docs because we have a JS doc documentation site that we want to make sure this gets updated because the developers make new functions, so we gotta manually update that first. So cd source ls cd assets, and you can see out right there, like that's where JSDocs is gonna make like the documentation when it's done. And we want to run JSDoc on our scripts folder, which has all of our JS or JavaScripts, and you can see that'll run. And now since that's done, we can move over to porting all the files to live deployment. And I've kind of tried to like make this like automated, but when you try to merge the branches on GitHub, like it always wants you to delete a branch, and like that's not what we want. We want like two separate branches. So I just like have been merging it manually, and the way I do that is I kind of like just open in File Explorer, and we can see like all the material. We don't want to delete live deployment branches, but we're going to overwrite everything else with main. So we'll just go ahead and select .github.vscode, admin source specs, and we'll delete we'll keep the readme, and we'll keep live deployment assets, and we'll keep .git, and everything else we can just throw away. And then we can open another folder for view in File Explorer. We can open another folder for our main branch, and we'll just copy everything except for .git and the readme. So now that we're back on the live deployment branch, we can see that it just had all of our updates from a few seconds ago. And now we can create a new release. So there we go. So now we have the latest release on our website, on our GitHub, and we can just click on here to see our website from the README. And there we go. We're back on the page. We have access to favorites. We can click on recipes. We can do pretty much everything we've shown in the past.
Hi, my name is Tan. I'm a member of Team 36 Code Adventures. My main task is to work on the editor page. I created the HTML5 and some CSS. For the project I am most proud of is that although some of us do not have much experience in web development, but we still managed to reach the goals. After this project, I would like to try communicate more clearer so that I can deliver my ideas to the team more effectively. Thank you.
My name is Miko Brown, and I was a developer for Team 36. On this project, I worked primarily on the homepage, creating the initial setup, kind of following from Lab 6. And then also I worked a bit on the view page, implementing the recipe delete functionality. I'm proud of the work I did, and I'm proud of the communication skills I earned in a team. And I think next time I could improve on maybe allowing my teammates to speak up more in meetings and being a bit less dominant in the conversation.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm part of Group 36, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the work that I contributed. So in the beginning, in the part of the planning, I helped with drawing the diagram, and then after that we were split off into 3 groups. So I was grouped with Justin and Rappel. So on our own time we met up, and then we worked together on the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript for our page.
As a developer, I worked on the recipe view page and especially did a lot of CSS. I am especially proud of how I used a user-first approach in designing the web page, such as turning the buttons red when they hover over the delete button or adding confirmation pop-ups. Something I could improve on is communicating better with my teammates so that we all know what goals we have in common instead of me just deciding everything.
Hi, my name is Duke, and I'm a part of Team 36 Code Adventures. Within the project, I work on designing the navigation bar, building the homepage, and incorporating styling like the buttons to make them look nice throughout the website. I also work on building the contact page that allows users' feedback to be directed to our Teams Lead email. As for what I'm proud of the work the team was able to accomplish and the website we built, even though there weren't much guidance through near the end of the quarter due to the strike. As for any improvements, I think if we were given more time, we can make the website look nicer and even implement additional features like a login mechanism or sharing the recipe to other social media platforms.
Hi, this is Chen Liang, who is a designer for a group project, and I'm mainly responsible for the recipe editor part and giving some ideas about how to optimize the user experience when they, such as when they click the buttons and what happens next. And my most proud thing is I can work with a great teams and develop a website starting from scratch and be familiar with how to use the CSS, HTML, and JavaScript to solve the problems from our real life.
Hi, I'm Ettore. I'm part of the Team 36. I was a developer and I work on the recipe editor page, mostly on the JavaScript part. I'm proud of the result because the form is working really well. We have a lot of features to add to the recipe to have a very complete one. The communication was through Slack and was really nice. Same for the task. I think it could have been better maybe if we did a little more of planification, and we should maybe have spent more time on the CSS part to have something like maybe nicer for the user.
All right. Hello. So my name is Justin, and this is like my 30-second thoughts on the project. I worked with mainly Julia and Rappel on the view page. I also worked with Miko on the functionality of the delete button. I'm very grateful to have met the team, and at the beginning I was unsure of myself and I felt out of place. So I'm proud that I was able to work in a team environment and I was able to be supported by my teammates and learn a lot. One thing I wish I would have improved on was I wish I would have done more research on the types of storage besides local storage to use, and research more on our options.
Hey, it's Andy Shade from Group 36. And I think what I learned most from this project in CSE 110 is that when it comes to programming, hard skills are not always as important as soft skills. And I would go as far to argue that soft skills like documentation, communication, checking your work, testing, unit testing, are all far more important than any type of hard skills or the level of your hard skills, your hard coding ability. And yeah, I think that soft skills lead to easier road down the line and also more productivity.
So what I learned from the project is that communication is very important, and then we need to test a lot, and then we need to meet more often for the sake of the project. And then the sooner you start the project, the easier it gets. But above all, communication was very important. Thank you.
All right, so ending our project, I think we did a good job. We did what we set out to do. We made a functioning recipe creator app. I think if we were to do it again, though, we probably would have focused more on testing. We definitely didn't get all the testing we wanted to do. We originally planned to do Jest and end-to-end testing, but we didn't get to that, unfortunately. We ran out of time, but we had JS docs, we had all the GitHub action stuff I showed you, and I think advice for people in the future, stuff that they would want to avoid, I'd say definitely avoid going for ambitious project designs, because I feel like we were pretty good about that. We kept it very limited. We wanted to create recipes, delete them, update it, etc. But yeah, just really measure your expectations, pay attention to what people are good at in your project, and prioritize putting the people who are good at things in the places where they can be the most effective. And I think our project was a success overall.